Jesus Christ, that hurt. I'm still got a headache.
Sorry about me cussing Jesse like a dog, but fuck it, I did. That's how it is.
Thomas Hubville got ran out of Auburn because of his wife. His wife was sleeping around with some of the players and just being a complete whore around town.
You fucking punk-ass bitch!
The Pac-12 will have 5 or 6 teams in the top 25.
Dude, whatever you're smoking, buy a ton of it.
I'm the greatest smack talker on the fucking face of the earth right now.
You fucking punk-ass bitch!
It makes me look like I got owned or something.
You fucking punk-ass bitch! You fucking punk-ass bitch!
I just can't believe y'all put a statue of this guy already at your campus.
I'm like Sean Devine. I'm burying my goddamn money in mason jars, motherfucker.
Hello and welcome to another galvanizing edition of the Smacking Off podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with my co-host and producer, Mr. Doug Phillips.
Hello.
How you doing tonight?
Fine.
Well, good. We've got a great show planned for you tonight, this evening. We've also got...
Boomer motherfucking Sooner.
Jody, did you hear that?
I did. I could hear him.
Excellent. How did you feel about that Boomer Sooner? Did it rock your soul like it rocked mine?
No, it's pretty weak, but I mean, I can live with it.
Georgia hasn't been to the national championship since the 80s. They're stuck in the past right now.
No, since 1980.
They're going to get reality.
Yeah,
Don't
not
worry about that.
actually 1980 is considered the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the end of the 70s.
Yeah.
The end of disco.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't it like 1987 they won their championship or something?
No.
Something like that?
80.
1980.
No, 1980.
80?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's been a
now
minute.
they did,
I had it for a second there, then you kind of lost it.
but they had a hellacious run right there from 80 to 82. They were in the mix every year.
Herschel Walker was their running back, right?
Yep.
Or he,
The 82 season, they may have had their best team in the 82 season.
yeah, I'm only 20, so.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, you're a young fella. Okay. Fresh meat. Okay. Well, all right.
Anyway.
Why do you see the game going? I mean, what are you anticipating? You think you're just gonna, just come out and just run all over them, and it's just gonna be like a?
No, I think I don't want to run all over from both sides, even from my side of Oklahoma. I don't want them to just come over and run all over Georgia. I actually want a good, close game, a tight game.
Well,
If it ain't a tight game, the playoffs ain't no fun no more,
Well, I mean, and it's pretty much at this point, from where I see it, the outside looking in. Because again, I'm a fan of neither team. I'm a fan of all teams. It's really going to be up to Baker. I don't see Oklahoma running much on Georgia. I think it's going to be strictly all about the pass attack.
It is. It's going to be about Davin Bellamy getting pressure off the edge. Lorenzo Carter, Trenton Thompson at the middle. It's going to have a lot to do with that. Roquan Smith is probably going to be fine on the Heisman winner, and Mayfield will just have to try to run out of a collapsing pocket. I mean, it's kind of been the bread and butter for running quarterbacks.
What I did like about Georgia this year?
What's that?
I like that Jake Fromm went into every game. He's just a freshman. He's playing damn good. I mean, his running back's helping him a little bit, running the ball like they do, but he's doing pretty good for a freshman.
He's proven to be a team leader, and I think that's very, very important when you're talking about a championship caliber team.
Kid they had.
Yeah,
Jacob Easton.
Yeah, Jacob Easton. Whatever you want to call
that bitch
his
is
ass.
fine as fuck.
Well, I think in the long run, I think he'll probably be the better pro quarterback in the NFL. Jake Fromm is a lot like Aaron Murray. It's that same build, same mindset. When people forget when Aaron Murray was recruited by Georgia, he was recruited as a running quarterback, and somebody with some wheels, somebody could move, and he just didn't. He was elusive, but he wasn't like Cam Newton moving around back there. And Jacob Eason is just more. He's just more statuesque, man. He for whatever reason, and during the game, he overthinks, man. when he had to make a big throw against Missouri and even in a Tennessee game to go ahead before the Hail Mary. He was good. He could make the throws then, but when it was only in those, heat of the moment, game time, just everything on the line situations is when he excelled. Any other time, he just overthought. He wouldn't pull the trigger. He wouldn't let go of the ball. He just held on to it.
We know, fellas, one of the big side stories on this matchup is the fact that Oklahoma, if you look at the national stats of all 4 teams that are in the playoffs, Oklahoma's defense is ranked number 59th right now. That is rather glaring.
Well, you can go.
Well, I just see this game going one way. If Georgia snaps the ball with more than 5 seconds on the play clock, unless they just want to catch somebody off guard, I don't think they should. Ball control, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Rotate those 4 or 5 backs in and out. Throw when you have to on play action. Involved. Get McCole Hardman involved, and just ball control. Keep the ball. Keep Baker Mayfield off the field. He's going to score. Oklahoma's going to score. It's going to happen.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
But if you make them punt more than you do, you're going to win the game. Don't make stupid plays. Don't turn the ball over. I don't know that he's seen the edge rushers and the linebacking core, especially if Natrez Patrick plays. And nobody, I haven't heard that he's out or he's in or what. With Natrez Patrick and Roquan Smith, in that middle of the field playing linebacker, I don't know. I am a fan, so I do feel like I look at it, through rose-colored glasses a little bit. I just see them, ball control, wear them down. The worst thing that could happen is for Georgia is Oklahoma come out and get a 2-score lead.
Yep.
17-0 lead or something like that. Georgia has to throw the ball. Feel like they got to catch up. I mean, even in the SEC championship game, that game was close midway into the third quarter. I mean, it seemed like that game was 10-7 forever.
Yep.
Yeah, and then that's also what I like about Georgia is that they went in there, they got beat the hell out in Jordan Hare Stadium. They went in there with no excuse, and they beat Auburn. That's what I like about college football is better than NFL because these players, they play for something, what I mean? That's why I love college football. I barely watch the NFL,
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Auburn's definitely a different team away from Jordan Hare.
Oh man, we talked about this.
Not to diminish Georgia's win, it was a great win.
Oh yeah, but we talked about this ad nauseum last episode about the fact that the Jordan Hare home crowd is just one of the most loudest, most boisterous in all of college football, and helped greatly to kind of swing that game Auburn's favor in both not only the original Auburn Georgia matchup, but the Iron Bowl as well.
Yeah,
against Alabama.
Especially with Jacob Easton being not Jacob Easton, but Fromm being a freshman, I don't think he's ever seen that kind of an intensity in the atmosphere that he's seen in Jordan Hare.
Definitely not.
I mean, that game was just loud. I don't know if y'all watched it as intently as we did. I mean, that game was just. I mean, just. I don't know when you have the announcers just kind of struggling a little bit or trying to, you can tell that they're talking a little bit louder just because it's so damn loud there. Yeah, you got something.
So what's the keys to victory for Okie George?
Jesus Christ, that hurt. I'm still got a headache.
I'm the greatest couple all over the face of the earth right now.
No, whoa. Okay, all right, fellas, time out. Come on, give me a second here. Fellas, pause. Just give me a second, man. Pause. Give me a second. Let me pause. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's all about here at SmackDown.
The keys to victory is they need to stop Mick Chubb, and Sony Michel. You know, they need to put some guys in the box because them guys are going to be playing. Mick Chubb's going to be playing. I think they're both seniors, so I think they're going to be playing real hard in this game.
Yep.
Because they're both seniors, and I know they're going to want this game because this is their last chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, we need to put some guys in the box, stop him, but watch that play action pass too. Like Jody, what's his name? Jody said it. I seen it against Mississippi State. They run the ball, play action pass, perfect pass, threw it right down the field, touchdown. You know what I mean? We got to stop the run. That's the main priority is stop the run. Then they have less plays to go through. We got to stop that run.
Yeah, I agree. You got to stop the run, and I think that I
think they're gonna run all over us. Tell the truth, because our 59 in the country. You got two guys, very talented, and it's going to be up to Baker Mayfield to get that offense going like he has been. You know, that loss to Iowa State still is pissing me off, you know, the way they did us, you know.
Did you destroy everything in your house after that game? Did that game just absolutely grate your nerves to no end? George.
That game was the game that I was like, you know, streaks is going to go on. You know, they're not going to go on all the time, you know. Like you see with Kentucky. Kentucky's eventually going to beat Florida. Their streaks ain't going to go on all, you know.
What was Oki's streak against Iowa State?
I think it was like 17, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but I knew it was long. I knew that there was a streak.
Like 17. You know, I forgot about the streak after they beat us. I was like, there's no damn way, you know. It just pissed me off.
Yeah, you were too.
I know we're going to lose eventually, but not in the season that, you know, a hopeful season for us.
Yeah, this has been the best looking Oklahoma team I've seen, you know, since Bob come in the early years.
I mean,
they look more disciplined to me.
Yep.
I mean, they look more disciplined now than they did under Bob Stoops. I don't know. Bob Stoops always had that letdown like Mark Richt did. He always had that just brain fart game that made no sense at all, where they would, you know, come out, should win, and just did.
You mean like the loss against Iowa State?
Yeah,
it's just like
Yeah, but for the most part, though, they have looked more disciplined.
Yeah, and again, they lost that game at an opportune time of the season for them, because had they lost to Iowa State in, you know, let's say week 11 or week 12, I think I don't know, national perception would be a lot greater, and I think that people would be making much more of a thing about that.
Well, you remember Iowa State, they followed Oklahoma went up by beating TCU, didn't they?
Yeah.
And so for a minute, everybody thought, hey, this Iowa State might be the best.
And I blame that on Oklahoma.
At the time, they said this Iowa State may be the best two-loss team in the country. And then it took a few weeks for them to start going downhill, and then people just kind of forgot about it.
For them to actually start being Iowa State again.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and, you know, Baylor put up a lot of points on that defense too, man.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, that's a depleted – I mean, there's nobody left at Baylor.
I think they won one single game this season. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And they hung 40. Georgia's defense is. Look, I know Malcolm Parrish. He's going to be back in this game. He was out in the SEC championship game. He'll be back. But man, I mean, you got Aaron Davis, fifth-year senior at corner. They're not lights out. They were better under Pruitt. I'm gonna be honest with you. When Jeremy Pruitt was the defensive coordinator at Georgia, that secondary played a lot better.
Yeah, we kind of miss Jeremy Pruitt right now. He's sought greener pastures.
He's actually still hanging around.
I don't know about greener pastures.
Yeah, I definitely don't know about that either.
Well, but his bank account definitely is seeing greener pastures.
Yeah, you can't blame him. And look, for all that everybody has said about the Tennessee job, Tennessee's still a damn good program. The damage that they've done over the past several months, though, to that program has just been almost insurmountable. So for them to be able to score a guy like Jeremy Pruitt, that was a huge win for them.
Yep. I called that early. I knew Jeremy Pruitt was going to get one of those jobs. I hated that he left Georgia. I hated
leaving Alabama.
Yeah, I was really hoping that Kirby would keep him on as the defensive coordinator. I love Mel Tucker, but man, Jeremy Pruitt was just. But you know, there were some issues with Jeremy Pruitt and the AD.
Yeah, and that's and I'm not really, because again, I'm an Alabama fan, not a Georgia fan, so I don't keep up with Georgia, down to that micro level that a rabid fan of a certain.
That Uncle Lou would.
Yeah, that Uncle Lou would. But
well, guys, can we get predictions on the game?
Yeah, we need to get some score predictions. How's this going to go down? Jody, you
come
first.
on, George. I know you got more confidence than what you've displayed so far, too.
Yeah, hold it nuts up, man.
I think Georgia runs the ball. I think they run a lot. I think they run it at will in the third and fourth quarter. The game will stay close. It's Georgia's MO. I've been to probably 6 games this year. Georgia will. The game will stay close. Georgia will wear this team down. They'll wear them down, and then they'll bust big runs with Swift or Sony Michel. Or even don't forget about Elijah Holyfield. He'll pop a big one. I really think it'll hang out close till the late in the third, early in the fourth quarter. I think Georgia pulls away. I see Oklahoma scoring maybe 20, 24 points. I was going to say 42-23.
Yeah, that was actually a question I was going to ask both of y'all. What would be the magic number? If Oklahoma can't reach this number in the game, then that's pretty much going to.
They got to score.
They're going to have to reach 45 or 50 points in this game, something like that.
Against that defense, that's an uphill battle right there.
Baker Mayfield is going to fuck up that Georgia defense. Give Baker Mayfield one little bit of disrespect, he's going to fuck you up like he showed us.
Kansas, fucking Kansas,
Kansas. They didn't shake the hand, so he's going to fuck them up. That's what he's going to do to
I wouldn't have shook his hand either. Fuck him.
I think he's going to pull a Colt McCoy.
The Oklahoma Sooners step on that field with the Georgia Bulldogs, and they play in that game on January 1st and beat that Georgia ass. I got my score prediction. Let me tell you, 42-40.
Whoa. So this is going to be a nail biter. This one's going to come down in the last few minutes of the game.
Blocked extra point. Watch it, see, motherfuckers.
I think
motherfuckers.
This game will be close.
Visit our Facebook pages, Smacking Off the Podcast fan page and Smacking Off the Podcast group page, facebook.com/group/smackoff, facebook.com/smackologists.
All right, and we're back on Smacking Off the Podcast with our dear friend of the show, Mr. Sean Devine. Sean, how are you this evening?
How's everybody doing? I'm great. Good to be back, guys. Great to be back. Hopefully everyone had a good Thanksgiving and is enjoying the Christmas
I'm fat
season
as fuck now. I'm fat. I'm bloated. I'm miserable. And now we've got to talk about all these fucking bowl games that we've got.
Thanksgiving week was a shitty week for me.
Why?
That was the Iron Bowl week.
We didn't have to talk about all that. We're talking about Thanksgiving and happiness and all the joy and shit. The
way everything turned out, we don't really.
Yeah,
know.
we can. I mean, we can talk about it. I think it's okay to talk about now the Alabama loss to Auburn in the Iron Bowl because it didn't matter. It didn't. It's like it never happened.
Right.
It's fucking awesome.
You earned yourself basically an extra.
It's like we get a do-over, but we don't have to play
preparation.
Auburn again. So.
Yeah, and didn't have to go to the SEC championship game, which would have been right.
Could have swung either way for us.
Yeah. But anyway, man, I hate to abandon this conversation and talk about these great bowl games.
Yeah. Too many fucking bowls. So that's going to be the title of this segment. We're going to start with the Celebration Bowl. This would be North Carolina AT&T. What is AT&T? What is that? Agricultural
Agricultural and technical.
Do you know anything about these teams? Because they're not even. These aren't FBS teams, are they? Or sorry, FCS. No, FBS.
Yeah, well, they're playing Grambling State, which has a very.
These are FCS teams, right?
Yeah, I believe they're FCS.
Yeah, you want to leave this one on the table? I mean, just kind of throw this one to the side.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
Sean.
I don't even see a spread on this game.
Nah, we're not. I didn't even bring the spreads up in this one. We're just going to talk about the games if we don't have to worry about the spreads on these.
I mean, I can't even call this game. I have no idea what. I know both teams. North Carolina. Is this AT&T? Is that correct?
Don't Grambling have that G that looks like the Georgia?
They do.
And the
it always fools me.
Or
Green
Green Bay.
See it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going with Grambling.
I
Green Bay on this one.
It's North Carolina A&T. Yeah, but I
haven't wrote AT&T
any of these.
here.
I haven't seen.
I just copied and pasted it.
That we might be getting sued by AT&T for this. I hope not.
Does it really say that?
Yeah, it says AT&T.
Okay,
I'm not making this shit up.
I didn't type it. I'll be damned.
You did.
No, I actually just grabbed this from a page and pasted them in.
Oh shit! All right, well,
I have not watched either of these teams. I have no clue about this game.
Well, I'm going to have to go with. I mean,
let's put some money on it.
I have to. I agree with what you're saying, but I'm going to have to go with Grambling.
Grambling does have a very a storied program.
Is Eddie Robinson still coaching Grambling?
Is he still alive?
No, I think he's passed on.
Oh, okay. Well, shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna change things. I thought Grambling.
Well, I think his son might be there now.
Well, they're standing at 11-1 right now, so they, obviously got something going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so
as Bama fans, we should be glad they didn't get into the CFP.
Yeah.
With an exact record.
Well, I mean, North Carolina, AT&T is 11-0. So I mean, there's two powerhouses right there.
Yep.
Okay, next. This is an interesting matchup, and I think we're probably all going to agree on the winner of this one: the R&L Carriers Bowl.
Where's that bowl at?
It's in New Orleans. It's at the Superdome. December 16th, 1 p.m. on ESPN. I'll be glued to my TV for this one.
What day is that?
Alabama's representing. We got Troy versus North Texas, and I'm definitely calling Troy in that one. Troy's played some good football this year.
Yeah, and North Texas has
ask any LSU fan.
North Texas has got their ass handed to them every time I pay attention.
Didn't you? Yeah, I think they beat UAB, didn't they?
Did they?
Was that North Texas? That's one of them Texas schools.
Sean, what do you think?
The only, I'm definitely taking Troy in this one. Troy is a 7-point favorite, and I think they're going to win by more than that, to be honest. But I caught the Troy LSU game, about the second half of that game.
What a great game that was!
Viewing experience of Troy.
You tuned in for the same reason I tuned in.
Yeah, feels.
And because I saw it was upset alert, so I had to jump over and check it out.
Oh yeah.
And Troy looked good. They had a nice season. The only Texas I saw, I did see them actually win. I know. Was it Shannon or was it Doug that was saying that he was?
I think I paid attention to them a couple of times this year, and they lost both times. One of them was against Florida Atlantic.
The one I did see, I believe I saw them beat Army a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
They beat Army, not by a lot, but they did beat them. But they didn't look great, and I mean that's Army. That's a wishbone triple option. Army throws the ball, I think, 2 times a game.
Are they still called the Mean Green?
They still are the Mean Green.
I'll be damned.
And I think the Trojans probably win this one. I don't know. I'll just say like 31-14, 31-17, something like that.
What's Troy's win total, Shannon?
Troy's standing at 10-2 for the regular season.
Wow. With a win over the mighty LSU Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
They should have got a better bowl.
Really, the fun part of this game is always looking when they give you that panoramic view of the Superdome and seeing how many people are actually there for this game.
Over under, how many people show up to this game?
12,000.
Oh man, I think it'll reach 20. This is New Orleans now. New Orleans is a nice place to visit.
Yeah, but what's their? I mean, these teams aren't going to travel. These fans aren't going to travel.
Man, Troy is just elated to be able to go to the RL Carrier Bowl.
Yeah, but
New Orleans. I mean, think about it.
The air conditioning bowl.
Yeah,
I think if anything, it comes in under what Sean says. I'm thinking 10. What'd you say, Sean? 12?
I mean,
he said 12.
Yeah, I said 12. So
this really is more interesting than the game.
Yeah, I think this one particular statistic right here is probably gonna because Troy's gonna beat that ass. Okay, moving right along to the Auto Nation Cure Bowl. Where the fuck they come up with this at? How much does it cost to get a bowl sponsorship now?
We need a
I don't
smacking off
recognize
bowl.
any of these sponsors. Yeah, we need a smacking off bowl.
Yeah.
At Legion Field, right down the street. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
While it's still standing. We have Western Kentucky, who stands at 6-6 versus Georgia State.
6-6. Western Kentucky got a bowl game.
Yeah. Now Georgia State must have had. They're 6-5, so they must have had one of the Florida schools. I would figure. Probably
read that headline again.
Too many damn bowls. Yeah.
When a 6-6 Western Kentucky gets a bowl bid, there's too many fucking bowls.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sean.
I completely agree. This is going to be a garbage game. It's going to be tough to watch. Right now, Western Kentucky is the 6.5 point favorite. So this thing's going to come down to who really wants this game more. I mean, they're about even. And you're right, Georgia State had a game, I think it was against Florida, that was canceled due to the hurricane.
That was a killer for them. Not so bad for Florida, but that just killed their fucking budget.
Yeah. And they could be 7-5 right now instead of 6-5.
Yeah, definitely.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Western Kentucky played. I saw them play an SEC school this year. I'm not sure who. I think it was Vanderbilt, maybe, or Kentucky. One of those.
Right.
And they're a feisty little team. They hung around with the SEC schools for about a half.
Right.
And then they were put away. But I'll take Western Kentucky here by, say a field goal. And this game's going to be ugly. It's not good. It's not going to be good football, but bad football is still better than no football. So,
Are they the Hilltoppers?
That's correct. But their logo is a red towel.
A red towel?
Yeah.
All right.
I have a red towel. I think every guy needs to have a red towel in his house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this is being held at Camping World Stadium in Orlando, Florida. Is that the old Tangerine Bowl?
That's the bowl we just talked about?
Yeah.
In Tampa?
No, not Tampa. Orlando.
Orlando.
Which was the bowl in Orlando? Wasn't that Sunshine Bowl or something like that?
Back in the day?
Used to be the Tangerine Bowl. Now it's the Citrus Bowl.
Okay. Well, now it's Camping World Stadium, I guess. Unless Orlando's got another stadium I don't know about.
Well, there's still
No, they bought the naming rights to that stadium.
Yeah. So now it's Camping World Stadium.
So
y'all keep that on your mind.
So you have the Citrus Bowl presented.
No, it's not the
Camping
Citrus
World
Bowl
Stadium.
anymore. It's the Auto Nation Cure Bowl. You need to get this shit straight now. This is very important. It's going to be the Auto Nation Cure Bowl for many years to come.
Yeah.
Moving right along.
That's one of those
I remember the Poland Weed Eater Bowl, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shreveport.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure there's another Orlando Bowl. I'm pretty sure that
you think I got two stadiums there now?
That, or they may have them. They may just have two
Orlando's-
different bowls in the same stadium.
Orlando's happening.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Because again, they're holding that Celebration Bowl at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta.
Yep. Which is the Peach Bowl, also the national championship game, and so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, get as many as you can. You got to put these stadiums to use.
Yeah,
Now this is an interesting bowl right here. This is the Las Vegas Bowl. And again, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, this would have actually been a hell of a matchup. Number 25 Boise State, which finished the season 10-3, versus Oregon, which has had kind of a lackluster year this year, sitting at 7-5, playing in Las Vegas, December 16th. How do you feel about that game?
Well, this is really be titled the LeGarrette Blunt Get Punched in the Face Bowl. If you recall that incident the last time these teams played.
No, I
Boise
don't remember
State's
that.
got 10 wins. Oregon's, it totaled around, I think, 7-5. Oregon's 7-5.
Mm-hmm. Is that right, Shannon?
Yes.
I can't figure out Oregon this year. They're installed right now as a 7.5-point favorite. I see Boise State winning this game. Boise State loves to go to this damn Las Vegas Bowl and punk, whatever Power 5 team that shows up, because clearly a Power 5 team doesn't want to be in the Las Vegas Bowl. It really depends on if Oregon comes to play. They were hit or miss all year.
My question that I have no clue of.
Boise.
I have no clue of who is coaching Oregon in this game.
Well, that's the other thing. You're going to have an interim head coach now.
Is it
is.
Cristobal? Mario?
It might be.
I think I heard that he was going to be interim. It seems like I heard that.
So that's another thing. These kids are probably not happy, that Taggart up and left them for Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would.
Have you ever seen the women at the Florida State campus? Oh my God!
Oh my God! What?
It's like eights and above everywhere you go.
Cowgirls or whatever.
The what now? What'd you say?
Don't they have a group where they call them the cowgirls, that wear those straw cowboy hats?
I don't know nothing about all that. I just know they got a bunch of hot women down there.
Well, yeah, they're
I'd go coach at Florida State in a heartbeat too.
One of them was the girl receiving the Brett Favre inappropriate texts.
Oh.
And she was originally Florida State cowgirl.
Yeah. Mia Calafia. Did I say that right? Calafia. Yeah, Mia Calafia, the porn star. Yeah, she's a big FSU booster.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She tried to get Baker. She tried to get Baker in her DMs, and Baker said, "I gotta."
I heard about that. I remember that story.
Yeah. Who slammed her on Twitter?
Hurricane Helms, because she was on WWE.
Yeah.
He says, well, it's funny that she could say that, because both professions, pro wrestling and porn, both take a pounding.
Yeah, this is very true. I've seen Mia take a few poundings in her career and keep coming back for more. She's a thirsty girl. All right.
Resilient.
Yeah. Let's go with the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. A 7-5 Marshall team versus Colorado State. December 16th from Dream Style Stadium in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Dream Style Stadium.
I like the Rams in this one. The Rams are 5.5-point favorites. Albuquerque's up there in altitude, and I think Colorado State's going to be able to handle that a little bit better than Marshall will. Yeah. And I think Colorado State, the few times I watched them this year, they're not overly impressive, but they know what the hell they're doing out there, and
they're not terrible.
They got some athletes. They're not terrible.
No.
Of course they're not terrible. They're playing the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl, guys. Come on. You're going to talk about accolades.
It's relative, right?
Yeah.
When you're Colorado State, the New Mexico Bowl is a good bowl.
Yeah. Don't have to travel very far.
Any bowl.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I mean, I don't think anybody has Colorado State on the CFP's radar anytime soon.
No.
So
maybe if McElwain would have stayed there.
Yeah, if McElwain would have stayed there, he'd have those boys coached up.
They'd be in the CFP this year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They wouldn't be playing the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. That's for damn sure. All right, let's. So, how do you feel about that one?
I'm taking the Rams. I like the Rams. Say they win by 7.
Okay. The Raycom Media Camellia Bowl in the. This is at the. I didn't even know this place existed, and I live in Alabama. The Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Isn't that where they have the
Senior Bowl?
Senior Bowl, yeah. Okay.
Or is that the blue and gray game? I don't remember one of them.
Yeah, it's one of them games. It's Middle Tennessee.
The blue gray game is around anymore, is it?
Maybe it's not.
No, I think they did away with it for because they're worried about injuries and all that other stuff for players that were getting drafted.
Do they still have Senior Bowl?
Yes.
Yeah,
so
sure
Senior Bowl, a couple of them. And,
that may be in Montgomery.
Yeah.
East-West Shrine game.
But anyways, we're looking at Middle Tennessee.
Hard to watch.
We're looking at Middle Tennessee 6-6 versus Arkansas State. In that they're at 7-4.
The Red Wolves.
I have nothing on that.
The Red Wolves are 3.5-point favorites over the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee. I'm not gonna lie, this one's gonna be hard to watch, but it should be a close game. Both teams are, they're 6 and 6 and 7 and 4 for a reason.
Yeah.
This one I have no idea. I'll be honest. I didn't catch a lot of either team's games this year, so I'm gonna have to take Arkansas State.
You call yourself a football fan and you haven't kept up with Arkansas State? What the fuck?
I know.
How many wins did you say that Middle Tennessee had?
6.
6 wins?
Yeah, 6-win Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee gets to go to a bowl.
Arky State has what?
7 and 4. Not much better.
7 and 4. They must have. They must have been one of those cancellation games too.
Yeah.
Because they should have.
I must admit I've missed a lot of Sun Belt action this year.
I remember that. I remember Arky State was supposed to play Miami.
Right.
That hurricane week, and it got
Miami
canceled.
dodged a bullet there, didn't they?
And the funny part about it is, if I'm not mistaken, was Miami supposed to go to Arkansas State? And they canceled? They said they couldn't make the trip.
Wait a minute. Miami was going to travel to... No, really?
That is correct.
I thought it was correct.
Miami was traveling to Arkansas State?
Yeah.
How'd they swing that?
I don't know how Arkansas State pulled that off. They must have had something on Miami.
Well, Miami has been rather down. So you got to think about when they scheduled this game. I mean, Miami was pretty
more
much
than likely
playing on the level that Arkansas State.
Probably one of them deals where Arkansas State comes to the Orange Bowl. Or sorry, whatever they call that stadium now.
Stadium.
Miami's borrowed stadium. Comes down there 4 or 5 times, and they go to Arky once.
Yeah. Well, that's nice of them.
Right. Yeah, probably. Yeah, like you said, probably 2 for 1 or 4 for 5.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama needs to travel to Mercer sometime.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Macon, Georgia's nice this time of year.
Yeah, it's not far at all.
No.
All right, the Lane Kiffin Bowl, Akron 7 and 6 versus Florida Atlantic.
What's the real name of that bowl?
The Cherry Bundy Tart Cherry Boca Raton Bowl. What the fuck is all this shit? And they're playing this. I like this. They're playing this at FAU Stadium.
Right. Yeah. It's their own. It's their own personal bowl.
Yeah. How the fuck can we do that?
I don't know.
We did that one year at Hawaii. We did that one year at Hawaii when we could go to a bowl game.
Yeah, they actually threw that schedule into the schedule and pretended it was a bowl.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to go to Hawaii and not think that you're in a bowl.
Right, and I think
when you're from Alabama.
And I think in that particular one, we won that one. The next year, we lost that Hawaii Bowl.
Yeah, it's a sad.
Mike Shula. Yeah, that was a sad story.
Do we even need to talk about this game? Because I think it's going to be all Florida Atlantic all the time for this one. They'll probably be playing to a packed house on this one, too.
Possibly.
It'll probably be one of the largest crowds of all of the games that I just talked about.
Really, the most intriguing thing about this game for me is Florida Atlantic is installed as a 23-point favorite. The only thing I'm going to be checking this game out for is to see if they can cover that number.
Well, again, they are playing at home, and Kiffin's got those boys coached up at the moment.
10 wins, too, man. That's unbelievable.
Oh, I think they do. I think they cover the number.
I do, too.
I don't really think Akron's going to be into the game, and there sure as hell aren't going to be any Akron fans down there at this game.
All right, well, last one on this list, the DXL Frisco Bowl. Ironically enough, not held in San Francisco. It's actually in Frisco, Texas, which is a place that I never even knew existed. Louisiana Tech 6 and 6 versus SMU 7 and 5.
Well, it's in Texas. SMU's they're gonna draw their fans because anytime SMU can get into a bowl game, it's big news. The Pony Express is installed as a 5-point favorite over Louisiana Tech. SMU a couple of times. They're SMU. I mean, they're okay. They're not great. The thing that I worry about.
Oh, they won 7 games this year. Come on now, you need to go ahead and recognize SMU's your daddy.
That's good for them. I remember those years where they won no games or 1 game. So 7 and 5, absolutely good for SMU. The thing I worry about for SMU in this game is Louisiana Tech. I've watched them a few times. I know their record isn't great. They do have some speed on that team, and that might be challenging for SMU, which didn't appear very, very quick to me. So I say SMU wins, but it's closer than the 5. I say they win by a field goal, maybe 28-25 or 28-24 or something like that. It's
So you're telling me out of this whole entire list, that is the only game that's actually really worth watching is the La Tech SMU game, December 20th.
I think it's going to be a good game. I'm excited to watch that game.
Okay.
To me on this list, the 3 games worth watching: La Tech SMU, the Marshall Colorado State game, and then the Boise State Oregon game.
Yeah, I think the Boise State Oregon game is actually going to be some fun to watch. I really do. I'm expecting a tight game on that one.
Yeah, that should be a good one. Those 3 are really the 3 to watch. I mean, the other ones I'm going to watch those too, but I got nothing else to do. So
quit lying. We're going to watch all these games. You know it. There is no other college football on. We're definitely going to watch it. We're probably not going to pay attention to it. We're probably going to be Facebooking most of the time. But yeah, it's football, man. Come on.
They're a champion. They've won the biggest championship, and that's the championship of life.
Each week, Smacking Off presents our Life Championship. This week's Life Championship brought to you by Bad Month Tires. You don't have the swag for Goodyear, so aim for the middle with Bad Month Tires, the most economical tire money can buy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is our final Life Championship. This is it. This is for all the marbles. I'm excited now.
Yeah.
Shit. Why did we even talk about this fucking bowls?
I don't know.
All right. This is our final for the 2017 season. This is the final Life Championship, the Butch Jones Life Championship. Rest in peace.
Yes.
Even though he's still alive. I wonder what Butch is doing right now.
Did he get a payout?
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
He's living it up.
Yeah, he's
living the Vida Loca.
Strippers and cocaine, or is he on the river somewhere?
On the river. He's rolling on the river.
Yeah, that's a good thing to be doing. Number 10, the LSU Tigers. We'd actually mentioned Troy earlier. That's how that cookie crumbled for them. Coach O came in with some pretty high expectations. Did do too awful.
Started number 13 AP.
Yeah.
Really, a lot of people expected them to compete for the SEC West. I guess you could say they kind of did, but not really. I mean, nobody ever thought that LSU might win the SEC West. 9 wins, 3 losses. Got the loss to Troy. Got the they got curb stomped by Mississippi State, and really kind of exposed Alabama late in the season with their injuries, and turned everybody onto the fact that Alabama may be in for some problems, and they were right.
They were right. Of course, again, Alabama tough third.
Yep.
Number 9, TCU.
What do you think about TCU, Sean?
Horned Frogs had a decent season, but you just knew after that loss to Oklahoma that they just didn't quite have the talent. I think
they could have never made it up into the top 5 of the Life Championship because they started out unranked. But they did they got as high as number 4 in the AP before losing to Iowa State. And
I think TCU actually kind of overachieved this year. I didn't expect them to actually be as good as they were.
Yeah, I mean, just because they were high profile and they ended up, there was people who thought that they were going to make the CFP at times. I couldn't put them any higher than that. And I really didn't want to put them on the list because there's no TCU fans to even be angered by this.
Yeah, not online as far as we can tell.
Matter of fact, they may brag that TCU made the top 10 of the Life Championship.
Yeah. They may actually have have this in their trophy case.
So,
Yep.
somebody's actually mentioning them. They're happy. You know.
We need an actual physical trophy for this. That would be awesome.
I was thinking about that.
And hand deliver it. Just kind of walk up to the university and just hand it to some random student.
Or at least to one of the Smackers.
Yeah.
One of the representing Smackers.
But we can't find one for TCU. But they didn't win this year, so maybe next year, guys. Number 8. Speaking of Big 12 powerhouses, number 8, Oklahoma State.
Preseason number 10. What do you think about them, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think they deserve to be on the list, but I mean, you know, the troubling loss I think for them was that didn't they choke one away to West Virginia? Was it
preseason number 10? They got as high as number 6 before dropping 3 games down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was one game, I can't recall which one right off the top of my head, but they had a lead, a pretty big lead, and then they coughed it up and choked it away, and of course, you know, they
I believe that was probably probably TCU.
I mean, and they should have probably beat Oklahoma. They pissed that game away too, in that 62-58 basketball.
Yeah, that was retarded.
That was a classic.
Yeah. But that storied Oklahoma defense.
You know, I can't hate on it too much because I love the fact that Mike Gundy turned Tennessee down, so he's okay in my book.
Yeah, I hate this
smart fellow.
I hate this backside of the Live 10 because it's really teams that I didn't even want to put on the list, but there's 10 spots. So, you know, Oklahoma State, they did start out ranked pretty high, but nobody really ever. I mean,
I don't think everybody seriously considered them as a
actually, thinking about it,
Feinbaum
actually went out on a limb in September at some point and said that Okie State was going to be in the Final Four in the CFP Final Four.
I remember that. Yeah.
So maybe that was in the back of my mind, so I had to throw them in the top 10. I didn't put them in the voting. The ones we voted on the sites the other day, I didn't throw them in there, but.
Number 7, Stanford Cardinal.
They were preseason 14. Never got real high in the poll. Let's see. They did end up winning the Pac-12 North and played USC off their feet in the Pac title game. They definitely couldn't have made the top 5. And they're another that I hated to even mention in here, but there was 10 spots. I think next year we're going to go with the Live 5.
Live 5.
Yeah,
let's go ahead and
streamline it.
Stanford, this is a pretty good year for Stanford.
It really is.
I mean, you know, other than maybe winning the Pac-12 or getting to the Rose Bowl, that's about as high as they usually, can achieve in football. I mean, they always usually stumble. You know, into September, beginning of October, here and there, a couple losses, and
got a win over their.
Hang around it. They beat Notre Dame.
Right.
You know, they're happy about that.
Beat Washington.
And they beat Washington. So, you know, for the recruiting classes they get, which are usually in the the 40s, then this is a pretty successful year for Stanford.
Definitely.
And they played USC tough in that game, you know, in the Pac-12 title game. If anybody watched it, because Pac-12 is dumb.
Because it didn't matter.
And that's how they didn't get into the top 5. And now we're fixing to start getting into more interesting teams that really had a shot at winning this.
Number 6, Penn State. Everybody, in fact, fielding there were a lot of folks that were figuring that Saquon Barkley would be the Heisman finalist, and it just didn't work out for him this year.
I think the Ohio State game and then followed up with the Michigan State loss just kind of did him in.
I completely agree. And as good as Barkley is, you knew at some point they were going to have to try to throw the ball, and they just couldn't. They really couldn't throw the ball very well.
But this Penn State team was number 6 preseason, and I think everybody remembers them getting all the way to number 2 before the CFP poll came out. But that was AP, and everybody remembers James.
The other thing, you get a lot of hot air out of James Franklin.
Everybody remembers that statement that Franklin made when they got to number 2 is, what did he say about Alabama? trying to remember the exact quote.
Yeah, he said something about Alabama, and I said,
Bama don't want us.
You're writing checks.
He's right. We don't. CFP didn't want him either. Okay, here's our top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll, please. Number 5, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Yeah, we're familiar with them.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. This one's a tough one for me because, again, nobody really expected too much from Notre Dame at the beginning of the season. And then all of a sudden, suddenly out of nowhere, everybody's talking about Notre Dame for a minute.
Yeah, I couldn't have voted for Notre Dame to be live champion simply because they started the season unranked.
Yes.
But
unranked,
so they definitely exceeded everybody's expectations
last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So it's a definite improvement. Lost a close game to Georgia at home, but rose all the way to the CFP number 3. That's what gives them the right to get into the top 5 in this, is that they got all the way to number 3. And
which I think you guys know from our conversations throughout the fall that I was always skeptical of this team.
Yes.
Even when, after the loss together, I think a 4-game winning streak, but you look at those teams. Boston College, Michigan State was a decent, okay win, but then Wake Forest and no disrespect to North Carolina State, they have a nice little team, but nothing that should really totally move the meter. And so we were always kind of skeptical, and then sure enough, they laid their egg like we thought would happen at Miami.
I kind of believed in this team early,
and that was that.
I know you remember me. I thought that they would beat Georgia. And they almost did.
You did. You gave them more credit than I didn't think we would.
I figured your stance was just a pessimistic, wait and see kind of stance. That's kind of how I do with Alabama a lot. But no, I mean, you were really on to something, is that they weren't there yet.
No,
and they may not get there.
Quarterbacks, that was the quarterback's second career start against the Georgia defense that had, I think, 11 returning starters on defense. So,
if I'm a Notre Dame fan, I'm definitely wanting a new coach.
I was just happy that they only lost by a point. I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Brian Kelly?
I still want a new coach, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime.
Not this year.
Well, and there's so many coaching vacancies at legit good programs that have come open. And again, that's the ones that have only come open before the end of the season. I mean, we haven't seen I don't think we've seen the last as far as the coaching carousel's gone this year. Not the slightest. I mentioned Mark Stoops earlier. I see him eventually, maybe not this year, but eventually he's going to wind up in one of these positions. A few of your other hot coaches at the moment, I don't think Kiffin's not going to be at Florida Atlantic very much longer.
No, I think he gets a job this year.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. And he can work some wonders for some of these programs that are in some real trouble.
What we can do is we can take the loser of the Notre Dame LSU game. What bowl game is that in, Sean?
That's the Citrus Bowl.
Citrus Bowl.
Yeah.
We can take the loser and their shoe in the preseason Live 10 for next year.
Oh, okay.
Or the Live 5.
Yeah. Smacking Off invites you to join us on the podcast. If you have an opinion on an upcoming game, some commentary on your conference, or want to roll with one of your fellow smackers on air, hit us up. You can message us at the Smacking Off or X's and O's Facebook pages, email me at maddenshannon@toothfairy.com, or call us on the Smack line, 304-508-BAIT. And as always, fuck your team.
Notre Dame, especially Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly needs to win that game to get to 10 wins.
I think Notre Dame can win the game.
I do too.
I think he gets another couple of years there.
Right.
Which is unfortunate, but
are you pulling for LSU?
What it is. No, I mean I got to root for my team, but
if LSU wins, then maybe it gets.
Then there's the door opens a little bit for maybe terminating it. Really, also is going to depend on where we're sitting with recruits, because right now we have a top 10 class, and I don't think they'll want to risk losing a top 10 recruiting class by firing him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Okay, number 4, the Washington Huskies.
Damn, we should have had Tiggy on just for this one.
Yeah, Tiggy be throwing a fit right now that we even included them in this list.
All right, preseason number 8, expected to compete with USC for the Pac title. That didn't happen. Got as high as number 6 before dropping a couple on the road to Arizona State and Stanford. I mean, this team would make a great live champion.
Yeah,
they would.
Yeah, definitely deserving of the top 4.
That could be me wanting just to hear the sound of Tiggy's voice on the next episode. But definitely, yeah.
Especially considering as good of a quarterback as they have up there, that Browning kid is, I think, very good.
And to just blow it. I mean, I don't know about the Stanford loss, but they definitely had no business losing on the road to Arizona State.
No.
That was an embarrassing loss. If I'm not mistaken, Arizona State stormed the field after winning that one. That was one of those great Pac-12 after dark games this year.
Yeah.
All right, moving right along. Number 3, old Booger Harbaugh, Michigan Wolverines.
8-4. What do you think about Michigan this year, Sean?
Well, it's absolutely they're right where they should be on this list. I mean,
I don't know. Some people would argue that they should have won it.
Yeah.
They just didn't get a lot of votes when I put it up for vote, but
right. I mean, I would argue, any of the final 3, because I'm sure Auburn's probably up there, if I'm not mistaken. You said, and our other one, but absolutely, because at least up in this part of the country, the Michigan fans prior to the season were really chirping that, okay.
Yeah, this is our year. We got it now.
Number 11 rose all the way to number 7, but you could see there was problems early on. Offense was completely terrible.
That first game against Florida told you the exact nature of that team.
Against Florida, and that's this year's Florida.
No quarterback. They don't have a quarterback.
No quarterback.
Right.
No quarterback.
They end up dropping 4 of their last 8 games after they rose to number 7. They're not quite good enough.
Shea Patterson.
Go ahead.
No, go, because you said something about Shea Patterson a second ago. I want to talk about this.
So I saw that. I was going to ask you guys what you thought of that move.
This actually was one of the local sports talk shows was actually pontificating on this one the other day, and I mean Shea Patterson's right now, maybe if you had to rank the SEC quarterbacks, he's like the 4th best, perhaps. I mean, you wouldn't put him over Nick Fitzgerald, you wouldn't put him over Jarrett Stidham.
Nope.
Who else? You wouldn't put him over Jalen Hurts.
Not at all.
No. He might be a better long ball passer, but as far as a complete athlete, I mean, he's not bad in at all. But I don't see that as a sexy move for them. I really don't. I don't know that he's going to be able to make that much of a difference for them.
The thing that stuck out to me, and maybe it was a bad picture, but he looks kind of small.
Yeah.
He doesn't look very big. So I'm not quite sure if he's going to be able to take kind of the physical pounding that it might entail.
Well, and again, he has
in the SEC.
He has faced SEC defenses, which are about as big and bad as you want to get. So I mean, he was able to survive and go up there and play for old Booger. So
right,
good on him. Number 2, Mark Richt's Miami Hurricanes. I'm still getting used to saying that.
Preseason number 18 rose all the way to the CFP number 2. Could
Pitt
possibly would have got into the CFP if they would have beat Pitt and played Clemson a little better. Would probably have gotten in with a loss.
Yeah.
But the way it all went down.
Yeah.
Pitt so close, but so fucking far away.
Yeah, Pitt fucked him on that one pretty hard. And again, that
it was going to be trouble when the temperature in that game was in the upper 30s, lower 40s in Pittsburgh. And,
yep.
You get
hard for
those kids are not used to
not
that,
acclimated to that.
But I don't think any of us, when we talked about this earlier in the year, that we thought Miami. I mean, they were squeaking game. Remember, they just barely beat Georgia Tech.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that. So we kind of knew they were smoke and mirrors. I mean,
Yeah, they won ugly pretty much all year long.
Miami got a lot of votes when we put this up. They got a lot of votes across.
Miami was
polls.
actually my choice for number one.
Yeah.
My own personal choice. I felt that Pitt loss was just. I mean, I think that really summed up their whole entire season for me, and the fact that they were able to rise to the level that they did throughout the season was rather shocking to me. I think there was a lot of people that were surprised.
Miami
by
didn't
that.
have the respect though. Even when they beat Notre Dame, a lot of people started to turn their head a little bit, but still a lot of people just didn't think that they were going to be able to put this together.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that was the big difference between Miami and the winner here of the
And again, that may be a testament to the fact that, Mark Richt just took this program over. This was with the existing talent that they already had. So, I mean, that right there in and of itself, I think deserves a Coach of the Year award. Have they announced Coach of the Year yet?
There's several of the polls. I think that Smart's got to know one of them already.
Yeah, and again, what Smart's done, but you can't negate what the fact that Mark Richt actually has people talking seriously about Miami football again. So that's kind of cool,
right?
But
he's tearing it up on the recruiting path too.
He's always been a great recruiter. He did really really good at Georgia. Kirby Smart will tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. He's reaping the benefits right now.
All right, everybody, brace yourselves for the drum roll, please. Your number one life championship, the life championship of 2017.
The champions of life.
Butch, this one's for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we present your champion, the Auburn Tigers.
Preseason number 12, lost close to Clemson in week 2. Really, people counted them out at that point, but fought their way back all the way to number 10, went on the road, and just had a complete collapse in the second half against LSU, and somehow LSU pulls this game out. There were Auburn people at that point that said, Gus has got to go. I'm tired of this crap. It happens every time like this. But after that, Auburn goes on a 5-game tear and beats 2 number 1 teams during that span. Mm-hmm. It was a scenario that we had talked about.
In a row.
We had actually talked about this. Auburn is the only 2-loss team that has the setup that they can get into the CFP. And people didn't just think that this team may be CFP worthy. People believed that this team was the best team in the country.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks at least.
Yeah. Week and a half, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Do you agree, Sean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those 2 weeks, they look damn good.
Absolutely.
But then, I did watch that LSU game, and I wondered what the hell they were doing in the second half.
Exactly.
I mean, it was to me, they're the most befuddling team that I've watched all year.
It's the one thing that Malzahn is very consistent at is inconsistency.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. That's the word to describe them.
And in addition to the life championship, Auburn fans also are treated to 7 more years of Gus Malzahn.
Please subscribe to our channel by clicking the small smacking off icon at the top of the screen now. Click the link at the bottom of the screen to watch last week's episode.